Hey, all right. Are you guys ready? I'm ready. Let's do this. 3, 2, 1, yo! What's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans, SEC fans everywhere? Welcome to the one, the only Big Trail Network live show. I'm Ty with a haircut. I know it's about time. It's my first, believe it or not, first haircut since Rona. I know that's crazy, right? With how crazy things have been. How did you manage to do that, Ty? I made it happen. My 5-year-old and I, we kind of had a daddy-daughter day. Went to Walmart, Lowe's, checking out some dishwashers, you know, the usual. And yeah, saw that place in Fayetteville next to, I always forget the name of it. I keep wanting to call it Sports Clips, but it's not Sports Clips. It's right there next to Walmart, Mall Avenue, Old Navy's right there, Home Depot. Anyways, that's where I went. And the lady looked at my hair and was like, "Holy cow, that's probably like a legitimate pound of hair on your head." So we had it removed with scissors. Believe it or not, wasn't laser. Didn't use lasers. So also, I made a comment on Facebook a little while back. I said I'm gonna get that helmet one of these days. Talking about the LA Rams. I know we're not, most of you don't really care about the NFL. If you do, you're probably a Chiefs or a Cowboys fan. Check this out. Ordered this. Oh, I'm in love with it. I love this helmet. I've got the jersey on the way. Hopefully it's supposed to. I've ordered that bad boy back in when did I order that? April, May? And they were like, yeah, September's when you're going to get it. I've waited. At the end of the month is when that bad boy is supposed to show up. So I'm excited about that. I hope you guys have had I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I know it's a holiday, so I don't know. I hope it's a good one. Maybe you're outside grilling. Yeah? Maybe you just got done grilling. What time is it? 6:23. Wow. So I hope I didn't interrupt your dinner, but if I did, welcome. Don't forget, for those of you who are coming through here maybe later on after the fact, after I'm done being live, if you're just catching the show and you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. If you have any questions or comments, leave those behind for me, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability, don't forget to check out all the links that are provided for you down below in the description box. The latest Hog Talk podcasts are available. Our boy Kyle Sutherland met up with Mark Pierce. That's all. The rowdiest Razorback I've heard. Living in Fayetteville. I was in what was I? I was in junior high school when Pierce. I was in high school when Pierce was here. I keep forgetting his era, the era of time that he was here. And I shouldn't, because the guy was he was fun to watch, watching him play at fullback and just how violent and nasty he was. The rumors, the all the craziness, the stories around Fayetteville, the things that he, getting into bar fights. I don't know how much of that's true. I don't know if any of it's true. I know he's an interesting fellow. That's on the HTP coming up. So stay tuned for that. Links, again, provided for you down below if you want to check out the podcast, the Hog Talk podcast. Also, special shout-out to all the Patreon supporters. As per usual, thank you guys so much. Even those of you who are not Patreon supporters, you're all rock stars. Anyone who's thrown a dime in the old PayPal. You don't want to join the $4 a month PT and PayPal. You just want to throw a dime in the PayPal. To those of you who have done that, thank you. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm ready. Yeah, isn't this, golly, I don't know how you don't find that awesome. It only cost $40 no, it's $30-something on Amazon. I love that. I love the new. I've got a hog one here too that's pretty dated. I've had this one for years. The little face mask thingy there is kind of cracked. You see that? Oh, that looks nice though, doesn't it? Oh, palm of my hand. Not a ton of stuff out there really to talk about Razorback related. We do have some information on the scrimmage that went down over the weekend. I think it was 125 plays. Of course, we don't have all the deets, but what I was able to find over the weekend, I don't know if it was encouraging for the defense or just really bad for the quarterbacks. Apparently, they turned the ball over a lot. The ball was on the turf, was on the ground more than Sam Pittman. Just too many mistakes from the offense. but he did say it looks like they're ready to go. Like they looked more prepared compared to where they were at a week before that, the weekend before. Oh my God, you look bald compared to normal. I know, right? I look completely different. You should see without the beard, I look like I'm about 12. So that's why I won't shave the beard. Ready for the first game? Yeah, right? Ready? It's coming. It's coming, everybody. Arkansas strong. Welcome, Mr. T-Dub. How you doing? Tyler Edmonson. I love the coaching staff and the recruiting, but Arkansas has a brutal schedule, says Manny. I believe 3 wins would be a success. Am I wrong? 1 win would be a success, Manny. No, you are not wrong. 3 wins would be incredible. That's 1 more conference win than you've had in the last 2 years combined. 1 SEC win would be improvement. Could be 3. I think 4 is possible, says James Rice. The Raptors are stinking it up right now. This is Jacob. Daytona Beach, Georgia is still trying to implement air raid, and word is it's not going very well. Well, with the transitioning that they're dealing with over there, with what's going on at quarterback, I don't feel sorry for them. Transfers are just, you don't know what you're getting. You just really don't, unless you get like a big time. Don't get me wrong. The guys that they got were guys that were either highly recruited or did well at their previous schools, had some form of success. In these two, okay, that's another show, another or a podcast or something. But they're still just a little unreliable. You guys remember Ricky Town? Big-time quarterback that transferred in from a big-time program, and Arkansas thought, well, this USC transfer is going to be a baller. Kid never even made the 3 deep. Never saw the field. You just never know what you're getting with transfers, especially the unproven ones. Georgia still has the best defense in the SEC, hands down. They're going to be the best defense. I've been roaming around some of the free message boards like Hogville and other places. Some people are daring to say that this is going to be like this could be an upset. Arkansas could upset Georgia because of what's going on at quarterback. I'm not going to go down that road here right now, but I think it's a little – right now it's far-fetched to say that Arkansas could get that upset, but it's not out of the realm of possibilities. Nothing is. I mean, again, you play the game on the field, not on a piece of paper, not on a keyboard and your notepad there on your iPad or on the computer. Like, you've got to play the game on the field. But I think the odds are so heavily against Arkansas. But you take every advantage you can get, right? All right, let's get into Tennessee. Did you guys see this over the weekend? They scrapped their scrimmage. 44 players were unable to go, the bulk of which were due to contact tracing and positive COVID-19 test. 44 players. And if you don't think that has an impact on Tennessee's offseason, I don't know what to tell you. That's huge. That sets them back. That's a whole weekend. They did end up having a practice of sorts, but they were just too. 44 players. Good grief. Look. This is the reality that we're in, and if this were Arkansas, it'd be that much worse because at least Pruitt is a guy that's been there, right? Sam Pittman's walking into this. Not blind. I don't want to say blind, but he's walking into this. This is unknown territory. This entire thing is unknown territory. No spring camp. Very unorthodox summer. Very unorthodox offseason. It would be a huge blow to Arkansas if that were to wind up being true. Now, you guys, I said last week there had been rumors that there were some players that had tested positive, that it hadn't gone public yet. Players were getting into the DMs of fans. Again, I said take it with a grain of salt. We still haven't heard anything. Usually something like that catches fire on message boards, and then the media is forced to ask. As far as I know, it seems like it's all not true at the moment. At the moment, there's not any truth to it. But doesn't, at least not on the face. You can't take it. You can't take everything you hear off social media as even being an ounce of the truth. But again, there's rumors were flying around there for like a day or two, pretty hot. But fans don't want to talk about it. So I think that's one reason. Why why it didn't really catch fire. And again, no one in the media has reported it either. So I think with how many eyes and ears are around the program right now, I know Sam Pittman's got everything on lockdown. It just seems like that kind of information would have leaked by now. That's all I'm saying. I already got a friend of mine texted me, said I heard what you said on Friday. And what you and I talked about the week before, blah blah blah. And I'm telling you, there's truth to it. They're not reporting it. Sam Pittman's lying. I can't confirm that. And as far as I can tell, like I said, as much as the media is snooping around, as much as the big time or the small time guys snooping around, getting what kind of information they can out of Fayetteville, something like that, I think would have really leaked. I don't know that I believe, and I haven't seen any screenshots. That's the other thing. If I see screenshots, then I'll start to give it I'll pay a little attention then. Mike Woods has a damn YouTube channel. I've not seen him mention anything about COVID. Maybe I've missed it. By the way, go support him. Go support Woods. Go watch his content. He has a reaction video. I wanted to record something kind of fun, just like me reacting to him reacting. I thought that would have been a lot of fun. Let's get in on some recruiting updates. Highly touted 3-star defensive lineman Cameron Ball, 6'5", 300-pound defensive tackle / offensive tackle, will now be announcing his commitment on September 22nd. I felt pretty strongly that Arkansas would get this kid. This is the guy that has like almost 40 offers. I don't know if he's camped. I don't know why he's only got 3 stars with that many offers. I don't know what's up with that. And talking to a couple of media folks around here, they've had the ability to talk to coaches in that area where he's at, where Ball's at. This kid is the real deal. He is absolutely the real deal. He can play either side of the ball. He can play offensive tackle. He's a hell of a defensive tackle. Again, 6'5", 300 pounds. Moves really well for someone that size. I was also told all those offers are legit. Some of them are defensive tackle. Most of them are for offensive tackle. We'll see where he lands. If he ends up at Georgia Tech, I think they've offered him an offensive tackle. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, close to 40 offers, and he's choosing right now between Arkansas and Georgia Tech. Again, that's September 22nd. I don't know if he's going to do an Instagram thing. This is a big one. This is like Ketron Jackson, if you want my opinion, in terms of its relevance to the defense and how good this kid is. And again, what I'm being told, I don't get told this about every commit Arkansas has. Even some of the 4-star guys, the reaction I'm getting from the people I'm fortunate enough to have some kind of talking relationship with in the media have said this kid is legit. Could be wrong. You know how that turns out. They get on campus, you never hear from them again. But I'm gonna side with them. If it's me versus, or if it's them versus just what fans are saying about him only having 3 stars, I'm going to side with the media. But this kid is it's big time, and that's my opinion. It's as big as the Ketron Jackson to Arkansas commit. That's what this is. I don't know where he leans right now. I had been told it was an Arkansas lean, but Georgia Tech had really upped the ante, and just like what Texas did. Remember, Texas was his school growing up. He was a Longhorn fan. It was his dream school. They came in late. They offered him late. They showed interest late, and at the end of the day, it was his loyalty to Step and I guess the connection that he made with the new staff and everything that ended up flipping him and keeping him with the Razorbacks. And I said here and told you guys he's going to commit either before fall camp or before the season starts. That's exactly what he did. I think he would have committed sooner, but I think that push by Texas the last several weeks, I think that's ultimately why he committed a little bit later than I thought that he would. Because I really thought like it was any day now. Back in July, it was like, okay, any day, Ketron Jackson. And then all of a sudden, Texas, you start hearing these Texas whispers. It went on that, what'd they call that visit that he went on, the independent visit. Okay, independent visit. And what an advantage, by the way. What an advantage UT had in that scenario. Think about that. Location. You know his parents and his family wanted him at a big-time P5 school in the Big 12, even though the Big 12 is a pile of crap. Closer to home, pretty much in the backyard compared to Arkansas, compared to Fayetteville. His dream school growing up, wore the burnt orange, had the merch, right? And Sam Pittman, even after the fact when Pittman gets hired on, Briles and Stepp, mostly Stepp, I believe. I'm sure that I don't know the connection between him and Briles exactly. I'm sure I missed that somewhere, but they managed to still pull him away from Texas. What? And you see the mess, right? You've won 4 games the last 2 years. Don't get me wrong. Texas hasn't been great, but they've sure as hell been a lot better than the Arkansas Razorbacks. And they're let's be real, they're a far bigger program right now, and they've positioned themselves perfectly. Like we're on this comeback, right? Like that's their yearly thing. We're back. Texas is back, right? Right, yeah, you're back. But they're selling that to recruits. You had to overcome this huge hill for a big-time player out of the state of Texas, and you managed to do that. Hats off to Sam Pittman. You can say what you want. I'm doubtful that they have a top 30 class when it's all said and done come February because of COVID, because of the NCAA continue. They're still extending that dead period. Where coaches can't come in contact into physical contact with these players. They can't go into the homes. That's why I think they will eventually. Whenever all these other teams fill up this class, Arkansas, you will see probably fall down a little bit unless they could flip that certain 4-star down in Fort Smith. You know who I'm talking about. If they could flip him and game a couple of others, if some of these other kids get ranked up, there's always that possibility too. Your current commits ranking up, maybe. But I think right now they're probably like a top 35, top 40 recruiting year, and that should be, you should be okay with that. All things considered, the last 3 years you've been a dumpster fire in Fayetteville. Things have not been good, and yet here we are. We're talking about right now they've got a top 25 class. I know we're a long ways away from February, but that's pretty damn special. If Sam Pittman, first off, if he manages to get one win and he gets you in the top 25 recruiting somehow, when it's all said and done in February, hopefully he survives early signing period. If you want my opinion, you need to not have early signing period. I think that's a bunch of BS anyways, but especially this year in 2020, get rid of it. But if he does those two things, I think you've got to do something extension-wise with his contract. I'm not saying go offer him a Mike Anderson deal. Don't go offer him some Brett Bielema deal. You give him something to make him happy, and you got to keep Stepp here. I wanted them to keep Barry Lunny because of what he could do at tight ends and his ability to recruit inside the state. But he wanted to go and be a play caller and want a larger role in an offense somewhere, and his friends went on to where they went to in Texas, and he followed them. That's completely understandable. Stepp had to be that other guy. You got to keep Stepp, and you've got to make Sam Pittman happier down the road. Right now, he's all giddy, but down the road, you're doing all this stuff. You're kind of, you're overcoming these overwhelming odds. You get a win. You haven't done that in over 2 years. Right, you break that streak, the SEC losing streak, and you get a top 25 class, guys. You got to pay the man something. He's already got let's be honest, okay? Kids, earmuffs. He's got a shit contract. Let's be honest. It's a contract that protects Arkansas, not Sam Pittman, compared to other coaches. Not saying he's not. Everyone should feel sorry for him. But anyways, I went off on a tangent there. This is big time for if Arkansas can get Cameron Ball, that would be a big time get. I do think he'd be the first kid I would think that would get bumped up to a 4-star during the next round, depending on what recruiting site you follow. But he's the guy I think that would, of the 3 stars they have, or let's assume he commits to Arkansas, that would be the most likely to get that 4th star. There's some other ones. There's some kids in this class that, look, they very well could get another star here relatively soon, or at least during the next wave of new rankings. So let me get caught up on chat here really quick. I had a notepad in the way. A lot of comments. Agreed, Ty. Battles are won on the field, not on paper. The ACC starts this weekend. Barry Cooney says, what happened to Arkansas State? Yeah. Started off good, but didn't end so well. Do you think the Hogs get a full class in 2021? What do you mean? Do you mean like full 25, or are you talking like everyone in that class? Like, do they clean house in the state? Saw an article, had Arkansas recruiting 21 nationally right now. Not sure how true. Yeah, they are. They're 21st, I think, on both. Or they're top 25 on Rivals and 247. Is there a way to watch Kitron's commit video? Yeah, Twitter, or I don't know. Yeah, Twitter would be your best option, Tyler. Twitter Pro, yep. James Rice, that's true. Mike Woods' channel's fun to watch. Yeah, he's a fun dude. He's a good kid. I like Mike Woods. I like him a lot. He's hung in there too. When you think about it, with the big time talent, I'm still a little surprised Shamar Nash is going to set the year out. Really surprised by that, but I mean it's saying something. Woods hung in there and beat out some highly recruited players. Y'all don't forget BYU Navy game at 7. Okay, Jacob says full 25. Okay, maybe it is. I have no idea. I don't know where they're at. You know, the scholarship distribution is going to get wild, especially with COVID and the NCAA allowing these guys to come back. Senior or not, redshirt senior or not, 6th year senior or not, you can come back. They're not going to count this year if I understood that correctly. Let's go on really quick. I know the next thing, some of you are sick and tired of what's going on in the NFL, but I do want to talk about the Hogs that made 53-man rosters really quick. McTelvin Agim, no surprise there with the Broncos. Cam Curl signs with the Washington football team, baby. There you go, Cam Curl. Jacob and I on the Hog Talk called that before the last season. We said before last season, this kid's NFL talent. Y'all watch. Look what he did. He went and made a 53-man roster. Not only got drafted, but don't forget, that doesn't always mean you're going to make the cut. He did. Way to go, Cam Curl. We're rooting for you, buddy. Trey Flowers, no surprise there with the Lions. Yelda Froholt with the Patriots. Dealt with some injuries a year ago. How about Dre Greenlaw? No shocker there, right? Hunter Henry, no shocker. Here's one that surprised me. Cody Hollister. Cody freaking Hollister with the Tennessee Titans. I think he signed a deal. It was just north of like $1 million. Cody Hollister. How many yards did he have? His entire time at the University of Arkansas. What did this guy do? And now he's in the pros, and everyone's like, holy crap. This guy, we're going to sign him to our 53-man roster. What are you talking about? Jason Peters with the Philadelphia Eagles. No shocker there. Now, it had been rumored he was moving around on the offensive line. They're going to move him back to left tackle. Frank Ragnow, no shocker there. Here's another one. Randy Ramsey makes the 53-man cut with the Green Bay Packers. Jeremy Sprinkle with Washington. Armon Watts with the Vikings. Dietrich Wise going to remain. He's always kind of been on that fence. Like, he makes these plays. You hear about him in these practices and in camps, how he does really well. He might have a game or two where he's a baller. I remember him and Trey Flowers when they were at New England together. They had a couple of games where the two of them would, they'd be on the field at the same time, or they'd rotate, kind of move those guys around a little bit. And Wise would get a little attention while Trey Flowers is blowing everything up. But Dietrich Wise has always kind of been on that. He might get cut or he might make the 53-man roster. Like, that's just I'm surprised he didn't get waived. Then let's talk about the guys that did get waived or moved over to the practice squads. Brandon Allen shouldn't really be a surprise there with the Bengals. He was just not having a very. I don't know everything. I do have a buddy of mine who's a diehard Bengals fan. Shout out to Kevin if you're watching. He said Brandon Allen just never turned any heads once he got there. He had his moment in Denver. Good for him. By the way, good for him. The shit that kid took at Arkansas. Look, I know, rightfully so. I don't know how. I don't know anybody that liked BA. Even his last year on campus when he tore it up, set some records, did some fantastic things. They still think he was just a worthless quarterback. Look, that guy is among the most successful quarterbacks, former Hogs in the NFL, like in a long time. Right, Ferguson's the most, right, like we all know Ferguson did really well in the NFL. Since then, not so much, right? Mallett had his moment. Wilson couldn't make roster. Austin Allen can't make rosters. Here's Brandon Allen. How long was he in the league now? What was that, 4 or 5 years in the league? 4 years, right? Am I crazy? Good for him. Congrats to Brandon Allen, but he was waived. I think he's actually over to the practice squad. Chase Harrell was waived. Scooter Harris with the Packers, Jeremiah Ledbetter with the Bucks, Chris Smith, which honestly I was kind of surprised Chris Smith was able to put together the career that he had. TJ Smith with the Chargers and Jonathan Williams with the Lions. We know he struggled with some injuries. Okay, let's move on to Sam Pittman's response over the offense. I'm sorry if you hear my neighbors mowing the lawn. I don't blame them for waiting to get that sun down where you don't have the sun on your back, but our houses are really close, so you probably will hear the lawnmower. No big D. No big D. This is what he said about the scrimmage. I thought our defense played much better this week, much harder. He said it seemed like they were in better shape than they were a week ago. Well prepared for the scrimmage, ran on and off the field. I love that he points that out, by the way. You're not a – look, I don't know, and I'm not one of these that's going to pile on Chad Moore. I take that back. I trash him on Twitter whenever I can. I never heard him talking about hustling on and off the field. You remember that when he got the job and he walked into the to the what do they call that? The assembly area for the players, and he tells a kid to get his feet down, like put your feet down, straighten up, whatever. Like everyone on social media loved that. I can remember my dad calling me up. Yeah, I know you're probably in here, Arky56. I love that about him. I love that about him. Oh, they're gonna be great. They're gonna really get some discipline this year. No more of just this fat, sloppy Brett Bielema walking around, smoking joints, drinking beers on campus. Not saying that happened. I'm obviously, I'm paraphrasing, rather. But, that's what everyone fell in love with. But I never heard him mention guys running on and off the field actually giving effort. Sam Pittman's doing that here. He doesn't have to show you on film. He doesn't have to look tough for film like Chad Morris did. Chad Morris knew a camera was around. He had to look tough, right? He had to look like, oh, look at me. I'm an old school coach. No, you're not. You're a clown. Whether it be tackles for loss, causing fourth downs on a 3rd down and 3, a lot of turnovers for the offense, which means the defense forced them, but the defense definitely won today. And again, this was last Saturday. The only thing they did not win was a goal line situation and a 4-minute situation. Other than that, they dominated the scrimmage. Again, talking about the defense on Saturday. Trey Knox, Burks, turning heads. What else is new? Having good fall camp so far. It's good to hear. Sounds like the guys that you expected to have a good fall camp are having a good fall camp. But there was definitely some issues turning the ball over from the defense. Let me find what he said about Levi Draper really quick. Again, this will probably be the last bit that we talk about here. But linebacker-wise, I saw Draper make some plays. Hopefully on tape is what I thought I saw live out there. He's starting to understand the defense a little bit more. I just talked to him about, hey, man, your job as a linebacker is to go make a tackle. I bet Draper was like, damn, I just got burned by Sam Pittman. The nicest guy on planet Earth. And all this is to fill in and do this and do that. Hey, man, tackle the guy with the ball. And I thought he did that today. Levi Draper got burned by Sam Pittman. No, I'm sure that was a coachable situation. I'm sure it wasn't meant to be taken that way, and I'm sure Levi didn't take it that way, but it kind of sounds that way when you read it. Can you imagine like the nicest guy who Pittman is? He's a nice, super nice guy. I have had the chance. I've met him. We're at Porter and I were at a Ladybacks game, and he just talks to you like you're a regular guy. And I'm a big dude. He's a big dude. Super nice guy though. You just get the warmth. He just gives off that that big teddy bear. But I think he's a real ball coach. I mean, look, you could still be that way and still be an old school, just old ball coach to have that mentality. I think that he does, but I don't know. It's something funny to think about him just absolutely raking you over the coals. Like, yeah, do you know your job is? It's to tackle people. That's your job. Okay, all right. Draper's playing on both sides. I think he's doing a lot of processing. If you're processing, you're not reacting. And in this league, if you're processing, you're going to get beat. I just think he's probably learned the defense a little bit better. I'll say this. I don't want to be negative because I do like Draper. I like him. I mean, he was highly touted out of high school. Holy cow. What was he, a top 150 player out of high school? Goes to Oklahoma. Gets a little injured. Mostly, even when healthy, he was on special teams. Struggled to make the 2 deep at Oklahoma. I know R.J. Young, when he transferred here, R.J. Young was all over like, oh, that's a great transfer. Look, R.J. Young's a homer. Any Oklahoma player that ever played there, that ever put on the helmet, they're going to be great. And maybe he will be. Again, it's not like Arkansas has a whole lot of talent or depth at that position. I fully expect Levi in some way or another to have some impact with the defense or with the linebackers. To what exactly, I don't know. But when you hear about a guy that struggles to make 2 deep, 3 deep, even at places like Oklahoma, look, I get it. They've got a lot of talent, but they're not exactly a defensive powerhouse. But again, I don't want to take anything away from him. I'm not trying to. When he transferred here, everyone flipped their wigs like this was the greatest thing ever. He's got to prove it first. And right now, what I'm getting from this is he's still a little bit behind. He's still trying to figure things out. And like he said, he's doing a lot of processing. He's not reacting. Sam Pittman says it right here. I think he's doing a lot of processing. If you're processing, you're not reacting. And in this league, if you're processing, you're getting beat. And this is what I tried to tell you guys. Calm down a little bit on the Levi Draper hype train. Maybe he is. We've still got what? 3, what are we at? 1, 2, a little more than 2 weeks left. And it sucks too. Like we love to talk about how crazy this offseason's been, how unorthodox it's been. That's only a disadvantage for people like Levi Draper transferring into a school like Arkansas that has struggled at the linebacker position and on defense like they have been for the last several years. But there's not a lot of places there. There's not a lot of highly rated players he's going to have to beat out, right? I mean, you're talking about former walk-ons. And it sounds like they're going to run primarily a 4-2 multiple defense, which is 4 defensive linemen. I don't want to patronize anybody. I know you guys know that. Some of you may not. 4-2-5 is going to be, it's going to be kind of what did Houston Nutt used to call that roaming safety position, the wolf position or whatever. It's going to be 4 defensive linemen, 2 defensive backs and a nickel, or someone's going to come down and play closer to the front 7. That's what the 4-2-5 is going to be. So it's going to be bumper pull and possibly Levi Draper. So I think he's still got a lot of work to go. This isn't exactly what I expected to hear. I mean, it is, but at the same time, it's not. I kind of thought they'd be bragging on him a lot more, and it's very clear that he's got a little ways to go. He did point out that JT Towers, a true freshman, made some plays. And some other guys along the defense have come along pretty well, pretty okay. But JT Towers has turned some heads, gotten the attention of some coaches a little bit, so we'll see what JT does, who's a true freshman. You guys remember him, big physical linebacker, guy that I'm pretty excited about. I'm really excited about JT Towers. That could end up being a big-time get for Arkansas. I don't know that you'll see it this year. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Remember, Bumper Poole's a freshman. That guy came in as a freshman, worked his way onto the field as a starter, and turned out to be a pretty good, pretty capable player. I feel like Bumper Poole's locked in. Now what are you going to do with the other linebacker spot? And again, they're going to go 4-2-5 multiple. So they could run 4-3. They could run a little of the quarter, the 3 front defense where you've got more guys creeping down into the box out of the secondary. We've got a lone linebacker or 2 because of how thin you are. You got to play to your strengths. Their strengths are not linebacker right now, and it has just been such a disadvantage for them. Last year it stood out, especially with Dre Greenlaw out. Scooter Harris, for whatever reason, did not. I thought Scooter Harris went backwards last year, and it's not surprising to me that he's struggling to make a 53-man in the NFL. Although obviously we're cheering for him and hoping that he does. Let me read your comments really quick. We'll call it an evening. How's linebacker looking? Concerned. You can come back another year if you sit this year. Yep, you can. I'm a little late, but I'm here. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Hollister had 10 catches for 140 yards his senior year. Yeah, and this guy's making over $1 million in the NFL. Think about that. It seemed the first scrimmage, the offense was in full control, but last scrimmage, the defense played much better. And some say the defense played better this scrimmage. Glad both sides doing well. Well, at least the offense had a week, right? I'll give them that. Next year, Arkansas could be a top 30 team if all goes right. Well, if the Big Ten can't figure out a way to play this year and the Pac continues to set the year out, although it looks like they're trying to find a way to play, they signed some deal with a company that produces really quick results for COVID-19. I was reading an article on that last week, and it sounds like the Pac might entertain the idea of coming back this fall. So, I mean, you're talking about a good chunk of teams that won't be playing. So, yeah, if those 2 big conferences don't play, you've got a shot at making the top 30. It's expected But I'm glad Jerry Jacobs is transitioning well from A-State to Arkansas. I agree. Dude will be an immediate starter. He's going to play. It is good to hear that. I always felt pretty good about him. I wasn't sure what role, to what capacity, where he's going to play exactly. He is kind of a safety corner hybrid. I think he's been playing the boundary corner spot. If it wasn't the boundary, it was the other side. So he's rotating in at corner. It's good to see that, man. It's good to see a transfer already kind of making an impact during this camp. So, all right, it's 7 p.m. I've got a Walmart pickup to pick up here down the road, so I better get off here. But I hope you guys, again, I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you have a great week. I'm going to try and be here, be live on Friday. I'm going to try. It's week 3 of homeschooling. God help me. All please, thoughts and prayers are appreciated. If you guys haven't already, feel free to tap the subscribe button down below. Check out all the links to the Patreon supporters. Thank you guys so much. If you want to be a part of that, that link is provided for you down below. It's a minimum of $4 a month. If you don't want to do that, there's also a PayPal down below. All goes towards the channel and just to hear to me. I'd appreciate it. It's awesome to get a little bit of support, but I really do appreciate all of you who come through all these shows, watch the shows here live, or come back and watch them later. Mike Wilmoth, I see you out there, buddy. You're commenting on all the stuff. I love it. Keep it up. You guys, TC, I don't know what that means. TC, talk. What does that mean? James, I'm sorry. I'm old. I'm almost 40. I'm 37. What does that mean? You guys have a good Monday evening. Enjoy the rest of the holiday while you're able to, and I'll hopefully catch up with you on Friday. Whoop.